Hi, welcome back. I'm Jeff Scholl.
And Pretty Michelle, and we're continuing with the seven spiritual covenants of spiritual relationship. So the second covenant is spiritual partners recognize their equality by acknowledging their unique manifestations of the same spirit. Each partner is capable of seeing through any negative human identities that may emerge. Okay, I laugh at that because not always am I able to see through your negative human identities that emerge.
And I do have them.
But sometimes I'm
Yeah.
capable of seeing beyond that. And I think when I can, then we're more successful in resolving whatever it is that's come up.
Yeah, and so I want to get back to the equal part of it. A lot of us, especially if we're older, we were raised in households that it certainly didn't appear to me that it was equal. I mean, I have distinct memories of my grandfather. My grandmother waited on him hand and foot. Now, I will say, now looking back, as a child, I didn't see the partnership, but in looking back at it, they were terrific partners in everything that they did. I don't know if they looked at it that way per se, but I certainly have a different perspective now of it. But the equalness, a great example of that is the yin yang symbol. It's two sides of the same coin, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. The other part of it, the negative human identities, and what she kind of laughed at, what she alluded to a moment ago, is we've both been kind of going through some spiritual growth trials and struggles in the last few years. And one of the things that I think happens a lot of times, especially in relationships, and in a patriarchal society, is we think that the man is supposed to be the spiritual leader and the spiritual
head of the household.
Head of the household.
Yeah.
And in reality, it just doesn't always go that way.
Right.
And really, we were kind of stuck last year until Pratima shifted. She got involved in the Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations and went to one of the advanced retreats. And because her energy shifted so dramatically, it's like it created a space for me to shift as well. And I've become much more committed to my own meditation practice. And here's the thing is, when you're kind of in these ruts, you're identified with those identities and those ruts. And it's only through, whether it's meditation or a self-mastery course or something that can help you create a distinction between that core fear identity and being able to see that and who you really are and being able to feel that. Once you can feel the difference between those identities, then you can start to heal and change that. As long as you're enmeshed with that fear-based identity, those same sorts of roles and behaviors that are happening over and over again, then you can't change it, because it's like Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. So you have to create a distinction and create a higher consciousness to be able to see those behaviors in a new light.
Yeah. And so the concept for me is that, we're all one.
Right.
We're all divine beings, and we're living in this physical meat suit, right? As some people say. And what does Wayne Dyer say? We're having a divine experience in a human body. So the reason we're together is so that we can, each on our own, be able to find that within ourselves and know that you and I ultimately are the same.
Right. And I talk a lot about, one of the things we didn't mention is the book that's sitting here. I wrote a book called A Path to Peace, A Reluctant Spiritual Journey, and published it on Amazon last year. And I talk a lot about my spiritual relationships, because having grown up with my family and seeing so much divorce around me, and so many different adults in my family, I waited until I was in my 30s to marry. And then when I saw that marriage end in divorce, I realized I had to make a change in order to have the possibility of finding a stable and lasting relationship, and that was based on love. And so I committed myself and I worked at it for years, and I'm still working at it. But I made a significant change, and I describe it, that change in the book.
Mhm. And so we are putting together a list of some exercises for each of these covenants, and we're going to link those to every video so that you can print it out and start really asking yourself some questions about your own, whether it's your spiritual identity or your fear-based identities, because
Right.
I think we learn more from our fear-based identities, and those are really where that we can, have opportunities to grow is when we don't succeed with our behaviors.
And
Because that's how it is for me.
And we're going to be talking about what that fear-based identity is and how we see that play out in our relationships in the coming videos. So keep watching and like and subscribe. Thank you so much.